Okay. Okay. I was saying, man, that we want to really thank you being here with us now, and also how good you were with us when we were there. And yeah, we will be there soon again, for sure.
Yes.
Because
my pleasure.
Yeah, we really miss that environment that you've created there.
My pleasure, man. Hopefully, if you wait a couple of months, we're going to have a lot more toys coming through. We've still got a few deliveries that we are waiting for. So when you do come next time, there will be a few more toys to actually try out and play about with. So should be good. Should be good. Okay,
perfect, man. And to start this podcast interview, or however you want to call it, I just want for you to give an update or how you are now. How's your life? How is everything going for you?
Yeah. So update. I've just training update to begin with. I've just had a bit of a period where I had to shake off some fatigue that has accumulated just through training, and last month both me and Mark wasn't too well. So Mark actually had to take like a full week and a half off the gym to get right. So we both was riddled with whatever we caught. So I ran pretty much 6 sessions at baseline volume, then went back into full training, and then needed to run another few more sessions at baseline. So training wise, everything's going great. I'm definitely learning to kind of listen back to my own feedback a lot more now, and not get carried away with just doing too much all the time. Because again, in order to perform the way we need to be fresh. If we're going into sessions and we don't have the aggression there, we don't have the energy to do so, it's just not going to be as productive as it would be when you're in an environment where you're ready for the session. So I think the readiness that you need to be at needs to be a lot higher. So training wise, all's going great. I'm probably the strongest and the most accurate I've ever been. So again, strong, that's relative how strong you are. There's people that are far stronger than me, but it's really irrelevant with bodybuilding because we don't display our lifts. Our lifts are just simply tools that we use to sculpt our bodies. So, I'm never the one that likes to compare the lift to someone else. As long as I'm progressing and as long as I'm a better version of me, I'm happy. So off season, this is push-up week number 8. So we'll probably have another, at least I would say 12 weeks of pushing up, if not more. Body weight's at 261 pounds. So in decent condition, good enough condition, as I would say. So I'm definitely happy to see that continue getting better and continue rising. Just need to keep the momentum going now with training, with body weight, and with life. Life is all good as well. Coaching's going great. I've just had a client win a show yesterday, actually. And there's definitely a big season with competitive bodybuilders this year. I'm hoping for 2 of the girls that I'm coaching this year to actually go to Olympia. So that's Jade and Rhea. So if they do, I will be definitely taking a trip over with them, as I've already promised them. Look, I said, if you qualify, I'm sorting the accommodation. So, but I'm confident. I'm actually really confident in them to actually doing it. So there's definitely a big year from a coaching perspective, from a bodybuilding perspective. It's a year that I'm aiming for a lot of progression. And there's also another gym to be open on the cards as well. Like I said, I told you when you was here, we're actually looking for a unit in Manchester to open up another Ultraflex in Manchester. So hopefully that gets done this year. So it is a big year for me when it comes to progression. It's a year that I need to step up as a bodybuilder. It's a year that I need to step up as a coach. And it's a year that I definitely want to step up in business as well. So with me, I always say this, everything is kind of interlinked. When everything's going great, everything's going great. But when things aren't going great, then everything else kind of slows down as well. So for me, the most important thing is, I'm not going to use the word balance, but for me, the most important thing is to manage everything so that all the areas in life are good. Because if one variable is off, all the others will be off. I can guarantee that. And I think that is definitely a personality trait that you probably have, from what I can see, that people in my circle have as well. So that's pretty much the update for now. So yeah, exciting year, big time. I think it's already been a very productive year. In terms of my own development, I'm probably in the best position I've been in so far. So I'm happy.
Yeah, very good, man. And it's also very refreshing to see you do your thing, because you are not just like a bodybuilder that trains, eats, sleeps you are also like trying to improve yourself in all the areas. And also if you look at yourself like in just business, just bodybuilding, just coaching, you can be an example for a lot of people, and you have all of those aspects in yourself. So that's something that is really inspiring, I think, for a lot of people. Mm-hmm.
So I personally think that in your life, if you want to be great at something, you have to be immersed into it 100%. But being 100% immersed into something doesn't mean you cannot be 100% into something else. Realistically, being a great bodybuilder means keeping a great routine, keeping a good consistent schedule. If you are a great bodybuilder, if you apply the exactly same traits into business, into coaching, into everything else you do, you are going to be good. So I always said this is I'm not a lazy bodybuilder. I couldn't just train, eat, sleep, and that's it.
Yeah.
If I was to do that, I would go mental. I wouldn't be as happy as I am right now, because I would only feel like I'm only able to progress in one way in my life.
Yeah.
So it would almost feel like I'm limiting myself to just that one thing. And as we all know, we're all going to be bodybuilders for life, but competitive bodybuilding doesn't last forever. So we have to make sure that we not only build ourselves to be the best bodybuilder we physically can, but we also have to take consideration is life after bodybuilding as well.
Yeah, for sure. And related to this, how would you define, or what is bodybuilding for you? What does it means to you?
Ooh, how would I define bodybuilding for me?
Yeah,
so,
I mean, with these questions, you can go as deep as you can or as superficial as you can. Like,
so bodybuilding has not only given me a purpose in life, but bodybuilding has given me the life that I live right now. Without bodybuilding, I wouldn't be the person I am today. So I wouldn't be any good in business. I wouldn't be a good person. Let's just say it lightly, because bodybuilding has taught me many things. Like I've never had a figure in my life that basically said, look, this is how you need to conduct yourself. Bodybuilding has taught me how to conduct myself. Bodybuilding has taught me the work ethic, the determination, and the grit that I need in order to succeed at anything I do. And again, I would say it was bodybuilding and boxing that has taught me these traits as well, because both require the same amount of discipline. And the main, most important thing, a lot of people say, bodybuilding saved and bodybuilding has done this or that. I can honestly say, without bodybuilding, I would not be sat here talking to you right now. I would not be the person I am today. And I wouldn't be in the position that I am today in my life as well. I wouldn't be as happy. I can imagine my life being in a very different path without it. So what bodybuilding means to me, it means everything and it means nothing as well, because without bodybuilding, I am nothing. So, and people can take that as they wish, because it's bodybuilding that set the foundation up for me to be able to succeed in business, for me to be able to succeed in anything else I do in my life. So without that platform, without the things that it's taught me, I wouldn't be me. So I wouldn't say bodybuilding, it doesn't just mean something to me. It's bodybuilding has created me and created my identity and created the person I am today in the positive ways. And I think that's the main thing that we need to highlight here, especially with a lot of negativity going around the bodybuilding right now. If not bodybuilding, there's probably chances that I wouldn't be sat here. There's probably chances that I could have been, not here, putting it lightly. So I do think that people underestimate the value bodybuilding can bring into your life.
Yeah. And I also think that it can be like very simple, like I bodybuild or I train. And in the other hand, it can be as deep as you want, because it can be your life. It can be like the thing that makes you disciplined every day with everything you do, as you've said. and it can be like a huge part of you, and in a sense, what have built you as a person, right?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. It's like it's taught me how to be successful. It's taught me how to win in life, and I've had the ability to have all these traits carry over into everything else that I do. So, you know, some people say that in order to be the best bodybuilder, you just have to focus on bodybuilding. But it's like, yes, I just focus on bodybuilding, but it's bodybuilding that's given me the focus to succeed indirectly across all the other avenues in life. Because with the focus that I put into my bodybuilding, it's allowing me to be a great coach. It's allowing me to have a much better gym.
Yeah.
So I've molded my life for bodybuilding to be the sole driver of my success.
Yeah. And that's something that you've like always wanted, or something like has increased with the time and with you being more advanced in the game?
So that was pretty much the dream since I was like 16 years old.
Okay.
And when I was 16, I said to the gym owner that trained at the time, I said, look, one day, you know, I'm going to be a gym. I'm going to have a gym. One day I'm going to have a gym. And one day, you know, I'm going to be a pro. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And ever since that day, it was small little steps that built me up towards it. Mm-hmm. It was competing. It was doing great at my PTing. It was doing great at my coaching. So ever since I set these little goals, I hit my little milestones and little steps to get towards them. So it started off with doing my first show at 16. Then it started off with starting PTing at 18 and coaching. It started off with winning more shows and then coaching full time when I turned 21 and then building up from there. So it's always been, that was always the dream. But at the same time, I understood that I was so far away from that dream and what I needed to do in order to get there. So I never fixated on the end goal. I just fixated on the process to get there. So it was always like, right, I need to be a good bodybuilder. I need to grow. I need to do this. I need to do that, without really focusing on the bigger picture. However, still having that bigger picture in the back of my mind, because that is still the end goal. But at the same time, not focusing on the end goal, focusing on the process that's going to lead me to that goal.
That's great. That's great. And have you had during that process, like a moment that was for you, like, okay, since the beginning, I've been like very passionate about this, but this moment has made like not a change, but like a before and after, or like a moment where you say like, okay, I confirm that this is my thing, that I want to do this, and that I'm going to invest even a lot more into this?
The first moment was in 2015 when I won my first big title, which was NABA Junior Mr. Universe. And where I live, that was pretty much anyone competing, anyone that was ever a junior bodybuilder, that was always a dream to compete there and win that title. Obviously, Flex Lewis won that title. So it's like everybody always wanted to like follow his footsteps and win that title. So 2015, I was 21 when I won that title. And that was the big turning point where I put all my energy, all my focus into bodybuilding, coaching, and building up myself within the sport. So my whole focus was right, I'm all in. I was already PTing and I was already making enough and more from PTing and coaching to be able to just focus on that, stop working doors, stop working the nightclub work, and just be able to immerse myself into bodybuilding and try and learn and obviously strive for more. And at that time, obviously, I won the show, 2015. And then I realized, look, that was my last year as a junior in under 21s. The federation that everyone else competed at that held the pro card was UKBFF back in the day. And that is where everyone competed before, obviously, Two Bros came about. And they had the federation where junior class was under 23. So, right, I was like, all right, I won the show. Now, in order for me to win that, I need to take some time off. So 2015 up until 2017, I took the time off. I had the opportunity to open my first gym, January 9th, 2017. So from the moment I stepped off stage in 2015, after achieving my first little milestone, my first dream and my first goal, I was all in, because that was the first thing, that was the first big dream and first big goal that I managed to succeed. Yeah. So once I actually got there, a lot of people take the foot off the gas, but once I actually hit that milestone, it actually pushed me the other way. It has given me a lot more fire in order to chase down these goals. And don't get me wrong, I still needed to mature as a person, mature as a bodybuilder, but I still had the work ethic in order to get done what I needed to do in order to get there. And the second turning point was 2017, when I won the junior class and the heavyweights at the British finals. And I actually stood in the overall for the pro card with James Hollinshead. James Hollinshead won his pro card that year. So that was the second turning point where I was like, right, this is what I'm going to do. You know, there's no going back. You know, I'm going to put my life into this and keep building up from there. And at the same time as well, obviously I opened the gym in 2017, January 9th. Towards back end of that year, I was fortunate enough to, you know, meet my business partners, Charlie and Mike. So as a collective, my whole life molded into just being able to bodybuild. And the better I am as a bodybuilder, the better my business is. The better I am as a bodybuilder, the better my coaching is. So it's all progression from that perspective. So it's been like a building point where, you know, the little things that happen in my life always push me further and deeper into the process.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah. And also, like, something that for Alex and for me was huge to see in person is like the level of execution that you have into every task that you do in your day-to-day. And also we saw, and this is, you can confirm this if it's not like 100% true, but we saw from outside that you look, or you are a person that wants like really good people around you. And with Mark, with Meg, with your business partners, it's like they all help you and also like try, like push you forward to keep improving, right?
Yeah, 100%. So I'm definitely a firm believer that your circle, the people that are around you, should not only uplift you, but should challenge you to be better. If you are surrounded with people that are only pulling you down and people that bring negativity into your life, you're not going to reach your true potential. In order for you to reach your true potential, you need to have honest people around you. You need to have people that will challenge you and people that will help you along the journey and help you with your process. And again, it doesn't have to be directly, because my business partners, for example, they don't push me forward directly. They do it indirectly through inspiring me to be better. It's the same with Meg. Although she actually helps me directly a lot, she does. She helps me an awful lot with everything I do day to day. But at the same time, indirectly, she inspires me to work harder. It's the same with Mark. The people in my circle, they're not only there because they're great people. They're not only there because they're amazing people. They are also there because they inspire me to be better.
Yeah. And in the past, have you had to let, I guess that, yes, but have you had to let a lot of people away from your circle and going like you moving forward and they moving into another directions?
Yeah, I think the environment that was in many certain ways I had to move away from. And that was actually in 2017 when that happened. 2017/18, where, you know, would definitely change the environment a lot. The friends that I've always been friends with for years, since I was like 16, even from back in boxing days, from age of 13, they are my friends for life. They're good people. They're the people that will always be around in my life. But the environment and the people that I was in, I had to definitely part ways with in order for me to be able to move forward and in order for me to cut out the negativity that I was put under and almost like limitations, because the people in your circle should never set limits and limitation on what you can achieve. The people in your circle should anything challenge you to push you past to a place that you could never even dream that you could reach. Whereas, as you can understand, some people will be in your circle to just pull you down and almost not cheer for you, but cheer to see you fail. Yeah. These are not the people that you want around you, especially if you want to, you know, if you've got big goals, you want to achieve something, you need people that will challenge you in a good way and push you forward, not bring you down.
Yeah. Yeah. And some also like doing that for some people can be almost like hard to do, to leave that people. And what would you say, like, for example, to a guy who's like into bodybuilding and he's realizing that his environment isn't as supportive as he would want to, and he doesn't have like that like pushing mentality to leave them into their place and move forward into his direction, even though in the beginning maybe he's like alone, or maybe he has to push through some things like by himself. What would you say to these kind of people?
So there's a couple of things. Is they need to ask themselves first, is have they done enough to explain to these people what they are doing? Have they done enough for them people to understand the process? If you know you've done everything in your mind for these people to understand the process and they are still not fully supporting you and supporting your decisions, that is when you know it's time to part ways. And let's face it, bodybuilding, it's not a team sport. More times often than not, you are going to feel alone. It's like when I started bodybuilding, there wasn't a single person my age doing the same things I was doing. I did not have any friends that was my age. All my friends was a lot older. So the times where I felt the most alone, these were the times that built me up to be stronger and accept that I'm happy being alone. But not only that, these were the times where I met my friends that I'm still friends with now. So most of my friends, they're a lot older than me, because I could never relate to people that was my age. I could never really make friends with people that was my age. And whether it was because my goals were always a lot bigger, I felt like I always belonged with a different group of people. And again, you might feel alone now, but you will find a group where you feel like you belong. And I think that's the main thing that you need to focus on. And if you have to be alone for a little time, that's fine. Let it be, you know, accept it and thrive off it and you know, embrace it.
Yeah. And I also think that in order to find like your place and your true purpose, maybe you have to spend some time alone, like in your life, doing your thing. And then you will find people who is more into like your into your passion or around your cycle that you can relate. Like, for example, with how you build your life now. I guess that up to that point, you have to spend a lot of time by yourself, like thinking with you in retrospection and what do you want? Why are you doing this?
Yeah, 100%. Because at that point, you might realize that it's not for you. Some people might realize, look, actually, you know, this life isn't for me. And that is also okay. Like, you don't have to be a bodybuilder. You don't have to do this. If it doesn't make you happy, don't do it. Yeah. If it doesn't give you the purpose and if it doesn't bring all the positivity that it has done in my life, then don't do it. Because I see a lot of people that almost portray bodybuilding as a massive chore. If it feels like something that is weighing you down, you should not do it. You should pick something else.
Yeah. And going back to the bodybuilding thing, like more to the pure bodybuilding, because this is something that I've always find really interesting, not just like the nitty-gritty of training or of nutrition, also like the mindset of an athlete, at the end of a successful person in the industry. And that's something that I've been really interested into. And also being there with you guys was huge for us, like to see that in person, because it's not the same seeing that through a video or through IG than seeing in person, like, okay, this is real. This is like real people like us, but they behave in another way, and they've been behaving this way during much more years. So they've built their life to get to that point.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, your environment is everything, but not only that, you create your own environment. You know, with bodybuilding, you know, the mindset has to be, of an athlete, like you mentioned. So with me, the most important thing is like, as an athlete, you're never going to be 100%. You're never going to be 100% fresh. You're never going to be 100% happy. You're never going to be 100% ready. And these are the instances that you continue even when you don't want to. And, you know, it sounds cliche. A lot of people say, you know, when motivation isn't there, discipline takes over and all this. But, you know, they like to say this, but when it comes to the times where you need to grip your teeth and you need to just fucking do it and continue doing it, you know, these are the times that you need to push through. Like, I'll give you an example over this course of the past month. It's like me and Mark both have been sick. We've barely been able to train, but not a single day went by where we didn't finish all our meals. We still had all our meals. We still trained every single day that we needed to, or we rested when we needed to. Yeah. Whatever you need to do, whatever your goal is, you do the work that is required of you, regardless of where your emotions are sitting. So to be a true athlete, I think one biggest thing that people undervalue, you have to set your emotions aside. So your emotional attachments towards training, your emotional attachments towards certain variables, your emotional attachments to any given method needs to be set aside in order for you to be the best athlete possible and actually pursue and chase down the goals that you have set out. That is the most important thing, is having the attachment towards everything you do, because again, you have a job to do as an athlete. Everything that we do is simply a tool that gets us closer to our goal.
And you've always been this way, or you've like created this mindset of this attachment to your emotional things?
Oh no, I think it's probably taken me like 7-8 years of training to get to here. So I've only been able to be like this for the past, I would say, last 2-3 years, where I've understood the process enough to be able to execute the way I do. Okay. So I think I always say this to my clients is there's levels to this. Each year you do this is a stepping stone. Where you are now is probably not where you want to be, but you will get there in time. You just have to be persistent and continue with the discipline to get there as well. Because a lot of people fail to be disciplined enough to be able to chase down years of these goals. And, you know, when things get hard, many people are, I don't actually want to do this, or have a little break. How many people do you hear have a break from bodybuilding? Yeah. You know, they do it all the time, but it's like, they're not truly having a break. They're just getting to a point where it gets hard and their emotional attachment takes over and they stop doing what they need to do. At that point, especially, you need to switch off and just do the job. You do what you need to do. And I think to be able to be like this, it's definitely taken me a good probably 8 years of bodybuilding to be able to do this and do it as well as I do now.
Yeah, that's also like very good to hear, because a lot of people would hear this and will see like, fuck, KUBA is in a whole another level and I can't get there like in my life. But that's like a process that you've built, and through your life, through training, through doing your thing.
Yeah, it doesn't happen overnight, mate. It doesn't happen overnight. Like, I've had my struggles, I've had my good times, I've had my bad times. You know, you have to accept that with bodybuilding. It's never just going to be. You're going to have dips, you know, you're going to have times where, you know, you probably feel like you're wasting your time. You're probably going to have times where you feel like you're alienated. You're going to have times where you feel like everyone else is better than you. You're going to have all these thoughts go through your head. But one thing that should never change is your day-to-day execution. No matter how you feel, no matter what you think, you should continue just getting job done, because all will come good in the end. You know, you'll get that dip, then you'll come back up and you're back on top. You're back making progress.
Yeah, that's really true. And I also think that accepting the fact that you are not always going to feel like 100% motivated, even like you're gonna be in times where maybe you want to quit and you want to stop doing this and you don't want anymore, but you keep doing your thing exactly the same. Absolutely.
So it's like last month, I was going into sessions and my whole body was hurting. I was in pain everywhere, every joint. So it's like, did I feel motivated to train? when I'm doing every single set and all I'm feeling is pain. I'm not even feeling a pump. Of course, I didn't feel motivated to train, but did I stop training? No, I did not. All I did is I thought logically about the situation. I reassessed and then I moved forward. So as long as you can think about things with a clear head, it's like, there's a reason why I'm feeling like this. I'm not supposed to feel like this. Let's reassess. Let's do the job that I need to do in order to get to feel better. And then we go again. And last pretty much for about 3 weeks, training has felt hard. And I mean, you know, when you're going through sessions and you're like, shit, this feels heavy, this hurts, this, that. But the last pretty much 3 sessions, I've probably taken the more progression than I ever have. I've been able to really push it the last 3 sessions. So it's paid off, me being disciplined and just persevering through the harder time in order to reap the rewards and go for the good time now, because now my body's fresh, my body's ready to go. So now I can, you know, enjoy feeling good until I get to that point again when I'm completely fucked. So again, that's the beauty of it, you know? And I feel like if we didn't have the hard times, and if we didn't have the times where you are challenged, if we didn't have times that was testing us, I don't think we'd be doing the sport. I don't think I would be doing bodybuilding if I did not have times where things just get fucking hard.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be doing this, because if it wasn't as challenging as it is, would we be as interested? Probably not. If it wasn't as hard and as challenging as this, we'd probably be bored.
Yeah.
Because think about it. If you just went in every single session was great and perfect, you probably won't be challenging yourself enough, would you?
Yeah. And I also think that that's like a lot of a character thing that we all bodybuilders have in common. And that's also why we can relate to each other pretty good, because we, at the end of the day, we have the same passion, and we have like the same mindset with every different situation of all of us. And something like related to the training thing, something that was really stayed with me since we were there was that after training, when we were there with the post workout, we also asked you, how was your session? And you always said, fantastic. And
always, man, no matter what. And you knew that session. Honestly, that session was quite painful. I was doing the RDLs and it was like, oh shit. Then I was doing the leg press and it's like, fuck, my knees, my hips. But yeah, no matter what, it's always good, man, because we got to train. If I didn't train, wouldn't be fantastic. But no matter what, I still got to train, you know?
Yeah, that's something very important to have, because also like the way you express yourself or the way you talk to yourself can in a way create your reality. If you are all the time thinking, yeah, fuck, I'm fat, I can go on with my life. I ask you and you say, oh, it was a horrible session. It's like you are almost like creating that horrible session and that horrible environment.
Yeah, of course, man. But at the same time, we have to think about things logically. It's like we can have as much positive affirmation as we want, but at times, if you're under recovered, you're not going to be able to sit there and tell yourself, oh, this is going to be an easy set, you know? So, but at the same time, you know, even if it's not an easy set, so what? You just get the job done.
Yeah. And in those moments where the thing is like really hard and you have like to really go hard and grab your balls, what goes through your mind?
Mate, these are the moments you embrace. These are the best moments. Because think about it, like I said, the beauty of the sport, it's you don't get that many of these moments. You only get them opportunities, you know, very, very, very so often. So I don't really think about much in these moments. I just enjoy the moment. Like the last leg day I just did 2 days ago, it was one of the best leg days I had in about 5 to 6 weeks. I've not been able to train like that in the past 6 weeks because my knees have been sore, and obviously the issues last month for being sick, etc. All the excuses. But I've still been training. I've still been making progress. It's just my body wasn't letting me train as it should have. And the last session that I did legs, it was unbelievable. So in these moments, when you know it's there, you take it and you embrace it, you enjoy it. That's the main moment. It's like, I don't even think about anything. You just go and just enjoy it. Yeah. And that feeling, you can't compare to anything else. You can't hear or can't see anything. You just do. So you kind of get in that moment, you know, and that's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, I really like the word or the expression like embracing it, because here in Spanish we don't have that. It's like more in a physical way. We say abrazarla.
Yeah.
And also like having that phrase of embracing it, it's like if you really connect with that phrase in that moment, man, that's like your moment. Like
oh, it's powerful, man. It's powerful. But not only that, it's, you know, the way it makes you feel, nothing else compares to it.
Yeah, it's so great. Yeah. And nowadays, with how you are in your life, are you happy with your life?
Do you know what? If I was happy, if I was totally happy, then I wouldn't be striving for progress. I think the idea of being happy makes me happy. It's just an idea. It's just like me saying, are you happy with your current physique?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? No. It's like, exactly. So I don't think, the way I am, I don't think I'm truly ever going to be happy. Meg says it all the time, actually. She says, you're never going to be happy. And it's like, I'm probably not, because the only time I'm happy is when I'm building up towards something.
Yeah.
So my happiness doesn't really come from being in a certain place. My happiness actually comes from the process. So it's like, am I happy? Well, I'm happy working towards something, yes. But am I truly happy? What is happiness? How can you describe being happy?
Yeah. Maybe I also think that like that happiness can be like working through that improvement and through that.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's like, if I was truly happy, like happy, I would probably be complacent, because if I was to say I'm truly happy now, then that would mean I'm happy with what I have and happy with what I've built. I'm not. Yeah. So am I happy working towards it? Yes, I am to a degree. But am I content? Because for me, being content and being happy is the same thing. So am I content? Absolutely not. Am I happy working towards my goals? Yes, I am.
Yeah, that's like the fire to keep going every day and to keep like your discipline, your day-to-day, everything you have to do.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, that's great. That's great, man. And that's also like something that relates a lot to the bodybuilding, because bodybuilding is like constant improvement. And if we go back to what we talked in the beginning, this is like that thing that you said, that bodybuilding is something like bigger than you, that has modeled you, that has like really stayed with you in your mindset, in everything you do, really.
Yeah, it's a purpose. It's not like people say it's a lifestyle. It's not just a lifestyle. It's a purpose, because you're working towards something continuously. And that work, you know, it's limitless when you think about it, because within our sport, and again, we look at it as our sport, there can always be something that you can learn. There can always be something new you can apply into your training, into nutrition, into whatever you do with bodybuilding. You can always improve upon your process. And I think this is why it never ends, because you could meet someone that could literally flip your whole perspective upside down. And then it's like, right, I'm starting from scratch. So for me, every year, I honestly feel like I'm starting from the beginning, because there's so much more new things that I learn, whether it's from my own process, my process with my clients. It's almost like it's a fresh start every single year.
Yeah. And it's key to have like that open mindset to keep improving, and not having that like ego of I'm in this level, I'm not going to learn from you, for example,
mate,
or from any other people.
Yeah, 100%. So the biggest example I can give is Baxter.
Yeah.
It's like any other bodybuilder would probably look at Baxter and be like, mate, don't even speak to me, because I'm not going to learn a single thing from you. But the fact of the matter is, Baxter can actually teach us a lot. So you know, you've got to eat a little bit of humble pie and accept that just because someone doesn't look like a 300-pound bodybuilder doesn't mean that they can't teach you something that will make you a better bodybuilder, a better coach, better in business, better in whatever you want to do.
Yeah, for sure. And do you have like an ultimate goal with bodybuilding, with business, with coaching?
An ultimate goal. Do you know what?
Or
An ultimate goal is definitely to compete in the Olympia. I'm not deluded. I'm not a person that's going to say, "Oh, I'm ever going to win this or win that," because I'm not. I know full well. But the ultimate goal with competing is definitely compete at the Olympia, and with coaching, is to definitely have at least 4 to 5 competitors actually doing the Olympia. So with coaching, that's the ultimate goal, is to actually have 4 to 5 boys and girls doing it. And I believe over the next 2 to 3 years, I believe I can accomplish these goals. I'm not going to be the biggest bodybuilder, but I know that I can probably bring a package that will be good enough to be able to, maybe scrape a qualification one day.
Oh, great.
In business, that's actually something me and Charlie spoke about. So 10 gyms is like the ultimate goal. Definitely the ultimate goal. 10 gyms and some properties as well.
Oh, great.
So
Great.
That's definitely something that I will be working towards over the next 5 to 6 years.
Great. That sounds really good.
Like the end plan, basically, by the time I'm like 37, 40, is to be able to just travel indefinitely.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So basically just pack my suitcase up and just go where I want, when I want, and just not even have like a permanent home. Well, I will always have a permanent home.
Yeah.
But, be able to basically travel and be where I want, train where I want, do what I want.
Yeah, almost like
To do that, but unfortunately, you can't be a competitive bodybuilder. So I'm gonna have to wait with that plan until I'm until I hang my posing trunks back up. So
yeah, okay. So to wrap this up, man, I don't want to keep you this too long, because I know you are really busy. What would you say to someone that's starting into bodybuilding, is starting to take it more serious, is maybe he has not competed yet, but he wants to, he has like this mindset of, I want to keep progressing. He looks up to you, for example, and he's really inspired by you. What would you say to that person?
I love it. This has probably been one of my favorite podcasts. So 100% don't rush the process and don't make the same mistakes that I've made in past. I think because I've always been so hungry to progress, I've made a lot of mistakes from a journey and I've trusted the wrong people. So the most important thing is you have to trust the right people around you. Do not just trust what people say. Do your own research, because what one person might say may not necessarily be the truth. So do not take his word as gospel. Always do your own research and try and educate yourself as much as you physically can. I've been fortunate the past 3, 4, 5 years to be around very, very knowledgeable people. However, if I had the same opportunity at the very beginning, I would be a lot further ahead of where I am right now, and I would be a lot healthier as well. So if you want to be a bodybuilder, 1, be patient. 2, take your time. 3, do not trust just a word of someone. 4, make sure you educate yourself. That's the most important thing. And obviously 5, I would definitely invest into a good coach or a mentor or someone that will have your best interest at heart and be able to not only allow you to progress as an athlete, but as a person and as a coach. Whatever your goals are, a coach should be able to help you and elevate you and bring you up to speed with whatever goals you do have set in mind.
Yeah, really good, man. Yeah, I think that will be very, very helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's like back in the day, you know, if I had like when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, all them years, if I had someone that had good knowledge around me, I would be a lot further than I am right now, because back then, cowboys, you know, people that you thought that were knowledgeable and you thought were gurus.
Yeah.
It's mental, like irrational and irresponsible advice. That's the only way I would describe it, man.
Yeah. That's a pity, and that's also like a good thing that we have now, that we have much more access to quality information, to quality people, to people that really care about your progress and that really care about your well-being in the sport.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We've got access to great information now. Yeah. So we should always be able to question the person that's giving us information. We should always be able to question them, and they should always be able to explain exactly the thought process behind their actions and behind whatever they're telling you to do. And it's the same with natural or assisted bodybuilding. I'm not just speaking about assisted bodybuilding, I'm speaking about natural bodybuilding as well, because the shit you see these days, man, is crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that another very important thing is also like having you now here is to really understand and have with you the thought that the person that you are looking up to, he has been in your place or even lower where you are. The difference is like that person doesn't have something that you don't have, or like take this pill or take anything or whatever. They've been and they've created themselves to be where they are now, and they also, as you said, they want to keep improving. They look to where they are and they think like, okay, I need to keep moving forward a lot more than what I've done to it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's like I had nothing when I started. When I started bodybuilding, you know, I had people telling me to stop. I had people in the gym that I was going to basically saying, look, you're wasting your time. Don't do it. You look horrible, blah, blah, blah. You know, I had it all, but did it make me stop? No. It only pushed me forward, and I proved them wrong every single time. Yeah. So don't listen to what people say. Stay in your own lane and focus on you. You are the priority always.
Yeah. Man, thank you very much for this chat. I think that this is a really good point to finish it and to stay with that last 5 minutes of the chat to have something and to keep progressing for the people that's listening us. And yeah, thank you very much for the chat. It's also for me and for Alex, it's huge to listen to you, to know, because we also look up to you and you inspire us to keep improving, and it's really helpful and really good for us to have exposure to when we were there, to talk to you now. It's great.
Look, man, you both did a fantastic job. Just keep doing your thing, because you're both great coaches. You're both very knowledgeable. You both train extremely well. You know, I've seen that firsthand. You both have a hungry for knowledge as well, which is the most important thing. You know, I see how much you guys learn, and I see your own application and your own knowledge, which is amazing. So it's, you know, as much as you like to say you inspire me, you guys inspire me a lot as well. So, you know, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming over as well. Like I said, you're always welcome, man. And just keep doing your thing, man. Big things to come from Hermanos Barrio.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much, KUBA. Hope you have a really good day and a really good afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, boys. Hopefully we'll catch up soon, and hopefully we'll catch up soon again at the gym, yeah?
Yeah. See you soon, man. See you soon, brother.
Take care, boys.